These are additional examples. As you notice, there's I don't know how many problems on this page, but then there's other examples after this. I'm going to give you all the examples that are listed on this document here, the first document, and then the answers are given to you at the end. But if you want to continue practicing, it does give you the answers, but this is not your assignment. This is just additional examples to help you with when you do the assignment on Khan Academy. I do want to remind you that you do have a test that is coming up pretty soon, so make sure that you do practice. So for number 1, we're going to do the operation, which is multiplication. We have G, that little dot means multiplication. And so we have to multiply G times F. So we notice that G of X is negative 4X times 3X plus 2. Looks kind of familiar. It's like we're doing some polynomial operations. It's exactly the same. Negative 4X times 3X, negative 12X squared. Negative 4X times 2 gives you negative 8X. So this will be G times F of X. So that's what you would see in the answer choice at the end. We have F of n equals n minus 4, G of n equals n cubed plus 3n squared. So we have F plus G n. So what is F? F is n minus 4 plus n to the third power, n cubed plus 3n squared. And you do want to write it in standard form. That means that your exponent is going to be the highest first and then descending. In this case, we have n to the third power. The next one is 3n squared. The next one is n followed by minus 4. So that's what F plus G of n is going to be. We have h of x equals x squared plus 5, g of x equals x minus 2, and we have h plus g of x. So you're going to get h of x, which is x squared plus 5. And I just put parentheses so you know that that's h. You don't have to. And this is x minus 2. You don't have to put the parentheses, but I did. And remember, you want to use the highest exponent first. That's in standard form. You have x squared plus x. Now you have 5 plus negative 2, so it's plus 3. So we have h plus g of x equals x squared plus x plus 3. We are going to multiply g times h of x. So once again, I'm going to use parentheses since I am multiplying. X cubed minus x squared times x plus 2. So you're going to use the FOIL method. X cubed times x gives you x to the 4th power. X cubed times 2 gives you 2x cubed. Negative x squared times x gives you negative x to the 3rd power. And then last, you have negative x squared times 2 is negative 2x squared. Of course, you want to combine those that are alike. So we have x to the 4th. We have 2x cubed minus 1x cubed. So you're left with x cubed minus 2x squared. So this will be g times h of x. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and subtract, and we have g minus f of n, and we know that g is 2n plus 5 minus f is 2n cubed plus 4n squared. So you probably want to distribute the negative 1. So we have 2n plus 5, distribute the negative 1. So negative 2n cubed minus 4n squared. So you always want to look for the highest exponent. In this case, it's negative 2n cubed minus 4n squared plus 2n minus 5. Plus 5. So this will be g minus f of n. This is not multiplication, this is composition. So we have f, and that means a composition of g, and we have as an input a. So it's f composition g of a. So you first got to do g of a. So in this case, g of a is 2a. That will become the input into f. So you have f of g of a. In this case, the input now is 2a. And so we're going to use 4 times the input minus 2. This is the input. Now the input is not a number, it's an expression, or in this case it's a 2a. So you have 2a, multiply 4 times 2a gives you 8a minus 2. So this will be f composition of g of a. So we have f, and we want the composition of GA. Okay, so we have f, and we notice we need to input whatever GA is going to be. In this case, GA is a squared minus 2a. Remember I said earlier, it's going to be an expression, so there it is. So now we got to put that into f. So you have 3 parentheses plus 5. Remember, this is the input. And we're using 3a now. We're using f of a. So what do you have as your input now? A squared minus 2a. So therefore, we have f of g of a is equal to 3a squared minus 6a plus 5. So that is a composition of f of g of a. Number 8, we have g composition f of x. So now f of x will be the input for g. So we have g, the input is f of x. In this case, it's 3x minus 1. This is your input. This is your input, and we're going to use function g as our process. And remember, this is your input. So you have 4 times the input plus 2. So what is the input? 3x minus 1. So you apply the distributive property. 4 times 3x gives you 12x minus 4 times 1 gives you 4 plus 2. So g of f of x will equal 12x, and then negative 4 plus 2 gives you negative 2. So that's going to be g of f of x. Number 9, we have g of x and h of x, and we have g of h of x. So our input will be negative 4x minus 2. So we're going to look at g. Remember, this right here is going to be the input. So you have parentheses minus 3. Remember, the input has to be squared. So you have negative 4x minus 2. So now we're going to have to do some work. We're going to do the FOIL method. We have negative 4x minus 2 times negative 4x minus 2. Negative 4x times negative 4x gives you 16x squared. Negative 4x times negative 2 gives you plus 8x. Negative 2 times negative 4x gives you 8x. And then negative 2 times negative 2 gives you positive 4. So what do you have? You have 16x squared plus 16x plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and put that here. So we notice that g of h of x is equal to what we just figured out now. So it was 16x squared plus 16x plus 4 minus 3. And the only thing you have to subtract is 4 minus 3. So you have 16x squared plus 16x plus 1. And that's going to be g of h of x. For number 10, we have g. We have g, and we have h of n. So the input is h of n, and that's going to go into g. So we have g, your input is h of n, which is n plus 5. So you're going to look at g. So you notice that it's an input minus 3. This is your input. This is your input. So the input is n plus 5. So what can we conclude? G of h of n is n plus 5 minus 3, which in this case is just going to be n plus 2. So that will be g of h of n.